Good morning, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I think after this session, I have to start learning some Italian. I'm going to start with who we are. We are the World Road Transport Organization, created under the United Nations framework on the 1948. For more than 75 years, we have worked to enable efficient, safe, and sustainable road transport connecting economies and societies around the world. Our headquarters is in Geneva, nearby the United Nations, and we operate in regional offices in Brussels, Moscow, Istanbul, Washington, and Beijing. We maintain a long-term standing partnership with the key international institutions, including the United Nations, the European Commission, the World Bank, with whom we collaborate for creating sustainable regulations and harmonized and the implementation of practical solutions from the transport industry. One of the technical issues we are currently focused on is bus frontal collision safety. The issue here is that the weak frontal structure due to the large windshield and tiny frontal panels, and also the high collision energy due to the bus mass and the driver's sitting position, which offer very limited space between the driver and the impact zone. As a result, even a low-speed accident below 15 km per hour can involve a high risk of fatality for the driver. The images shown here illustrate a fatal accident in Norway. On the right, we see a collision between two buses with a speed around 35 km per hour. And despite the relative low speed, both vehicles had a large mass and the impact damage was severe, something that should not occur if the structure were more rigid and energy absorbing. On the left, we see a similar case at the roundabout, where the speed was below 15 km per hour, yet the driver did not survive this accident. Looking at the current regulation framework, UN 29 Revision 3 and the UN 107, the first one mandates frontal collision safety approval on the test for homologation, but does not cover the M2, M3 vehicles, which are the city buses. The second one applies to buses, but does not require frontal collision safety performance, like creating a clear regulation. And that's actually a clear regulation gap that we see, for instance, in the image below. In the red, in green, you have the mandatory frontal collision, the bumper for trucks and buses, but for trucks and cars, but for the buses, it's not mandatory and it's often not there. The current studies, mainly conducted by our partners in the Scandinavian countries, demonstrate that the need for frontal energy absorbing structure and an increased survival space for the driver. This study also shows that passive safety measures alone, such as emergency braking, are not sufficient to address this issue. And in order to move this topic forward at a global level within the United Nations framework, we need additional studies and experimental data from different regions. This should cover both passive and active measures for safety and also comes from different regions, because at the moment we have only a study that comes from the Scandinavian countries and we need larger demonstrations from different regions. Where we currently stand, we currently advocate in a closed-door meetings at the United Nations for proportional, technical, neutral regulatory that improve safety while ensuring economic viability and operational efficiency, mainly in the GRSP and WP29 meeting at the UN. And we also participate in a key industry event to inform that about this issue, what we do here and what we did also in the bus world. And we also call on our stockholders and authorities to share data, studies, and statistics from different regions to help advance in this issue. And that's a call for you to share with us any statistic you would have on this. So overall, IRU remain committed to advance for regulatory progress that ensures safety outcomes while perceiving the efficiency and sustainability of road transport operations. I'll stop here. Thank you very much, and I will be great to receive your feedback and questions. Thank you very much.